Hey guys, are you ready to transform your mind so you can transform your life? Coach Mirna brings you one-on-one coaching and expert guests weekly to help you to grow. Because happiness is the progressive realization of a worthy goal.
Looking for personal growth? Let's do it. Are you struggling with excess weight and can't seem to lose it? Introducing the Road Body Program. It provides access to the most popular weight loss shots on the market. The program pairs a weekly shot with healthy lifestyle changes so you can lose 15 to 20% of your weight in a year, on average, and actually keep it off. Go to ro.co/transform. Sign up today and you'll pay just $99 for your first month and $145 a month after that. Medication costs are separate. That's ro.co/transform. Welcome back to the Transform Your Mind to Transform Your Life radio, podcast, and television show. I'm your host, Life Coach Mirna Young, and sitting in the guest chair today is Phillip Blackett, author and entrepreneur. And Phillip and I are going to be talking today on the topic, building the business of your dreams with artificial intelligence, or AI. Welcome, Phillip.
Thank you so much, Mirna. Happy to be here with you.
You're very welcome. All right, well, let me give you guys a brief introduction. Phillip Blackett is an author, consultant, and entrepreneur who previously has worked with FedEx, Goldman Sachs, Bank of America, and Chick-fil-A. He got his Master's of Divinity degree from the Southern Baptist Theological Seminary, his MBA from Harvard Business School, and his bachelor's degree majoring in political science and economics from the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. He's the author of How Can Entrepreneurs Start Adopting and Embracing AI to Build Their Businesses Without Breaking the Bank. He has previously been featured in Business Insider, Entrepreneur Magazine, Forbes, and LinkedIn. When Phillip is not fulfilling his purpose to grow God's people, grow God's businesses, and grow God's kingdom, he is raising his twin daughters with his wife, Myra. Very similar to my name. I was telling him before we started. All right, Phillip, I'm excited to get into this conversation because everywhere you hear AI, 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 you go on YouTube and everybody tells you that you should be investing, you should be doing this. And every day there's a new thing with AI. So I was very happy to get you on the show because I wanted to understand how this AI is supposed to help us build our businesses. What are the different ways we can use it? I personally use ChatGPT, but I'm sure there's many more AI that we can use. But let me get some background going for our listeners and those watching on TV. Why are you so passionate about helping entrepreneurs and small business build their business of their dream? Build the business of their dreams, I should say.
So I think the big thing, Mirna, that comes off is, I've been in a business owner's shoes. I've owned a business of 4 years, a multi-million-dollar business, been through the pandemic, been through ups and downs. I know friends of mine and colleagues that have started businesses and have lost businesses during the pandemic. Maybe the case where, businesses lost due to competition. They couldn't really outpace or outsmart the competition. And so I think a lot of it is the sense that, when we get into entrepreneurship and building a business for ourselves and for our family, a lot of it is based off of what we dream to achieve, whether it's the type of business we build or the type of lifestyle we want to provide for our loved ones and that sort, or just to never have to have a job again, right? Let's be real here. Some people just don't want to build somebody else's dream. They want to build their own dream. And so I think part of it is I can definitely resonate with that because I've been in those shoes many times before. And if I can be of help to someone being able to further their dream, to make it more of a reality, to have the type of lifestyle they can take care of their family and never have to worry about, looking up on some job site for some random job because you have to rather than if you want to, then I think that's part of my purpose here. That's part of my mission here. And if I can do that, and with the help of AI, then I'm all on board for it.
Yeah, it's great. And I like, how you ended your bio by saying that you want to help God's people grow their businesses and grow God's kingdom, because that's what we want to do. We want to grow God's kingdom so that because once your business is doing well, then you can grow God's kingdom by contributing and helping someone else along the way. That's why we all, want to be successful, so we can help others along the way. So that's amazing. All right. So let's get to our artificial intelligence conversation. So how can businesses grow their dreams with AI without breaking the bank, which is really the time of your book? Give us the high level overview of that, and then maybe we'll dig into the details.
Yeah, so definitely in my book, The Unfair Advantage, how small business owners and entrepreneurs can use artificial intelligence to grow sales, outsmart the competition, and build their dream businesses without breaking the bank. The first things first, Myrna, we have to get on the same page of how we're going to approach AI. What is the mindset going into this? Because if we don't have the right mindset, we're not going to fully utilize and take advantage of what all AI has to offer. Because unlike a human being, AI is a tool. It really has no feelings until you actually program it to have feelings. So at the same time, AI, you also have certain AI tools that don't request a day off, that don't go sick when you least expect it, or don't wake up in the middle of the night saying, hey, I really don't want to go to work today. Let me see if I can slack off or find another thing to do. It's a tool. But what is the true variable in the equation is, what are we going to do about it? Because a lot of business owners today are thinking to themselves like, hey, maybe artificial intelligence is just a fad. Maybe this is something that'll just go away over time. You'll find some bad things about it. They'll get rid of it, and then we'll be back to what we were doing before. There's some other people that are thinking, how is AI going to change my business? We're seeing a lot of stories out there nowadays in the news of companies laying off hundreds, if not thousands of people, and they're putting that investment into AI. And you have a lot of businesses that are trying to figure out, okay, what do I do? And how do I best go about this? And so the last part of it is a group of people that say, hey, you know what? AI may be new. It may be something that I'm not familiar with. I understand that there's much more to AI versus just ChatGPT, and it could be a little daunting. However, we're going to put the time to figure this out. We're going to learn what it is, see how we can adapt it to what we're currently doing, and learn how to master it. And we're going to grow with it, because we understand that because of how quickly AI is essentially evolving and getting better much quicker than we can as human beings, we have to be adaptable. We have to grow with it. We have to keep tabs with it. We have to keep learning. And that's the only way we're going to stay ahead of the game. And not only that, stay ahead of our competition as well, so we can be more productive and be more profitable.
All right. So, yes. So as you were talking, I went all the way back to when was it, in the mid 80s, when, I started working at the bank and they started laying off all the tellers because we now had the ATM machine and they took jobs. I don't think that was AI. AI is new, but it just brought me full circle. 20 years later, that now customer service jobs. And I think writers' jobs are, because ChatGPT is now writing books and everything. Writers' jobs and customer service, because now the AI can say, well, I understand full sentences. They're going to have a conversation. But I think your focus is more on helping, not necessarily using AI for customer service or for writing. I want the spin of how can it grow and build your business. So give me some examples of how an entrepreneur that's just starting out, I don't know, selling something on Shopify or so, how can AI help him grow sales?
That's true.
Right there.
And I think it was interesting what you were saying right before your question, Mirna, where even with the ATM, like I would equate that as artificial intelligence to some degree, because, that was something where before the ATM, you had to go to the bank during normal banking hours to talk to a human to request $200 out of your account. Now you have an ATM that's out there where you can access it at any point in time.
Yes. And
it knows exactly what functions you're likely going to ask it and can get you the money without a human involved. Yes. And so I think that
now there's no tellers. So there's like one teller in the bank.
Yep. I've seen it. It's like you go to a full bank building, and I used to see like 8 tellers. Now it's like 2.
Yes. So that's right. And then of course there's no customer service reps and that kind of thing. But right, yes.
Even with customer service,
because that, like I said, that was in the mid '80s when I was working in the bank. So.
Like even with customer service, too, what I'm starting to see is like AI is taking a role there too, because it's actually similar to the ATM, because the ATM, for example, there were certain functions that you knew people were likely going to ask, almost like a frequently asked questions. It's like, okay, Can you show me my bank balance? Can you take on a deposit? Can I do a withdrawal? Can I get fast cash? Like there are certain functions that I was like, okay, these are commonly asked questions. Why don't we just program the machine to know how to do it? And I'm also seeing a similar thing with AI and customer service now. Some businesses are getting ahead of the curve to say, hey, what are the common things that my customers are asking for? That instead of me wrapping or taking up a human's time to ask the same questions, or to answer the same questions over and over and over again, we just program it where we have maybe a chat bot on a website that you basically type in your question and it points you in the right direction. And now you're freeing up somebody's time, a human's time, to take on higher level duties, higher level thinking that may not be able to be sufficiently answered by AI, at least for now. That now frees you up to be more productive on some things that you just didn't have time to do before. Right. So that's dealing with banking, that's dealing with customer service. Let's also talk about growing your business, as your question was. So I think part of what's going on here too is, a big part of having a business today is content. You mentioned it before, right? If you don't have content going out, people don't know you exist. And it's all the more the case where so many businesses are popping up year after year, and more people are going to get their news and their information from different sources, let alone being on social media. You have to find a place where you can consistently get out content that educates and keeps people informed about your business, so that when the time comes where they need your product or service, that you'll be top of mind for them. But oftentimes one of the biggest, not faults, but one of the biggest concerns for business owners is, I just don't have enough time. I don't know what to do. Or my marketing team, for me to market, I need such a huge team of like 8 people, and it costs me tens of thousands of dollars a month to be able to do this. Well, just an example there is like what I've seen with AI is small businesses can do just as much marketing with 2 or 3 people as they used to do with 8 or 9 people. You can have tools that can do copywriting, that can help you edit your audio, tools that can help you do podcasts. I've seen tools, Mirna, that by the time you finish a podcast recording, AI can essentially take that, come up with short video clips already that are SEO optimized with titles, and be able to spin those out and post them on all your social media outlets, put the podcast up on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, have a video for YouTube, like all this type of work that it would take hours for people to do.
Yeah. This episode is sponsored by GoFundMe. A few years back, my goddaughter needed surgery in Guyana and lacked the funds through the surgery. My family started a GoFundMe fundraiser to help her get the surgery. She received the surgery and it saved her life. Research shows that people love to help others in need. So if you ever need to raise funds for surgery, funeral expenses, travel expenses, send in your kid to the Olympics, or even fund your book or movie project, GoFundMe is the most trusted place to raise funds, and it's a lot easier than you think. It only takes a few minutes to set up your fundraiser. With a community of over 150 million people, GoFundMe is the leader in fundraising. They help people help people. You can withdraw your funds at any time, even if you don't reach your goal. So, the next time you need help, head over to gofundme.com/transform and get started by tapping the green button. Asking for help is the smart thing to do. It's free to start, free to manage, and designed to help you reach your goals. Start your fundraiser today through my special URL, gofundme.com/transform. Also, as a Transform Your Mind listener, you will get a free coaching session with a GoFundMe expert. So whether you're starting a fundraiser for today or you want to set one up for the future, go right now to gofundme.com/transform. This episode is brought to you by BetterHelp. Do you schedule time for self-care? Or is it something you do when you have time for it? Is it a non-negotiable? Self-care for me is a non-negotiable. My self-care routine includes morning walks in nature or time at the gym. But sometimes our schedules are packed with kids' activities, big work projects, and more. It's easy to let our priorities like self-care slip. Making time for therapy is a form of self-care. But even when we know what makes us happy, it's hard to make time for it. When you feel like you have no time for yourself, non-negotiables like therapy are more important than ever. It's helpful for learning positive coping skills and how to set boundaries. It empowers you to be the best version of yourself. It isn't just for those who've experienced major trauma, etc. If you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist. You can switch therapists at any time for no additional charge. Never skip therapy day with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/TYM today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp.com/TYM. Are you struggling with excess weight and can't seem to lose it? For the past 20 years, that has been me. I was finally prescribed the GLP-1 weight loss shots about 2 months ago. It has been amazing. The first week, I lost 6 pounds. And since then, I've been losing about 1 pound a week. I have always worked out 6 days a week, and I still had a problem losing the weight. The only change I made was to cut down on my fat intake and take the weight loss shots. Introducing the Raw Body Program. It provides access to the most popular weight loss shots on the market. The program pairs a weekly shot with healthy lifestyle changes. You can lose 15 to 20% of your weight in a year on average and actually keep it off. Over 200,000 people have already chosen Row to help them lose weight. Row Body Program members have support throughout the process. If you have insurance, Row's partner handles all the insurance paperwork to help you get your medication covered. You can sign up online from the comfort of your own home. Go to row.co/transform. Sign up today and you pay just $99 for your first month and $145 a month after that. Medication costs are separate. That website again is row.co/transform. phillip.co/transform.
But
Yeah, it just saved me. It has saved me. I don't take it to the, all that, but yes, I use AI to do my show notes, and it comes up with SEO because I write a blog, so it comes up with SEO keywords. It can do the video clips for social media, but I don't use it for that. But yeah, the show notes, and then I can do chapters, so that if you want to tell people, go here for this particular thing. So yes, podcasters now are all using AI, and a lot of them use AI to write their content. I don't do that because I do interview style, right? So I don't need it to write my content, but you're right. You can use AI to write your content. Okay, so that part I understand. But I was saying that if you have a store at Etsy and you want to increase sales, tell us about that little niche.
Right. So I think one thing that comes off is if you have a store in Etsy, right, how are you going to get customers to come to your Etsy store? Right. So you're thinking in terms of, do I go into advertising, maybe on social media? Okay, well, how are you going to figure out where your people are? What's the right ad for me to write? How to link it back to my store? What I see AI really doing is helping you if you're doing advertising, let's say on Facebook and Instagram, that you can have certain AI tools where somebody that's like, look, I just produced a product. Okay. I'm not an advertising guru, let alone a Facebook and Instagram wizard here. I just know that that's where my people are. And I need to figure out a way to come up with something catchy, something compelling, something thought-provoking for them to stop their scroll, stop what they were doing, and come to my website and buy my product. Okay, so you're going to have a certain way to come up with the right image, the right copy, and the right call to action, and the right targeting to find the right people and get them the right way to come to your website. And usually you would have, before AI, a person that focused on that.
Mm-hmm.
But now you have certain tools that can say, hey, okay, what is the product? Okay, tell me, what is it about? What do you want people to know about it? Okay, what's the call to action? Okay, what do you think about that? And they'll basically optimize it. Particular AI tools will come up with the headline, the copy, the thumbnail image, the call to action, and then come up with the targeting, all of which you just plug and play into Facebook or Instagram, and that's less time on your plate. You now save
not only less time, most people don't know how to do that. So
right.
Yeah, you have to hire like a marketing person, like you said, because business owners, right, you know how to produce the thing, or you know how to outsource it, but you don't know anything with marketing and advertising. So yeah, I can do it for you. And that's why you say not breaking the bank, because that's just great. I love this. Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, because I think part of it is you see tools here that are going on for like a couple, like $10, $20, maybe up to $100 a month.
Yeah.
That with good use, that might be one sale of your product pays for the whole month, if not a couple months of the product. As opposed to if you're paying for a person, that might be much more expensive. And so
will be.
So I think part of it gets to the sense where where it really started to grab my attention was the fact that, hey, there's so many different AI tools out there beyond just ChatGPT that essentially your marketing team for your small business can be a chief marketing human, we'll call him or her, your AI tool suite, products that you use, and a virtual assistant. Because what could essentially happen is you can have somebody working during your daytime hours with these tools, and then when business is over with, you can have a virtual assistant in another place around the world picking up where that chief marketing human left off. So now you can have it where, instead of 8 hours of work being done, it might be 16 hours of marketing work done for a much smaller cost per month, with tools that ramp up your productivity, as opposed to if you had to have 8 humans in the building, which for a lot of small businesses, it's cost prohibitive. You just can't afford that. Bigger businesses can do that, but you can't. But now you're in a position where you can better compete with the bigger businesses locally, regionally, and nationally because of these AI tools.
Wow, that's beautiful. So do you tell in your book some of these tools that people can use?
So I think I take more of an approach perspective. Here's why. Okay. When I was growing up, I was very much into video games. And I used to want to play football games like Madden. And they were having football game like Madden 1999. And then what happens the next year? They come up with Madden 2000. And what do they come up with the next year?
I know where you're going with this.
Madden 2001. It's just like with the cars today. Okay, you got the 2014 Ford Focus. What are you going to have the next one? The 2015 Ford Focus. So what essentially has happened is every year there's going to be a new iteration, right? But here's the issue. Here's the difference with AI. As opposed to the video games and the car examples I gave you that are every year, these tools are iterating by the day. You're getting version 2.0, 2.1 in a week's time, right? That is significant change that by the time I put it in my book, there are probably tools that come out that completely make that tool obsolete.
But that's what I said. I know where you were going with it when you started answering the question. Yes.
So it's more so important of what's the game plan? What's the mindset? Because I know, and every business owner should know, listen, the tools are going to likely change in a year's time. They're likely going to change. What you were using in January is probably going to be different from what you're using in October. So keep that on the table and let's make that understood. But more importantly, what is our game plan? We're going to first say, hey, we're going to learn this AI thing, figure out how it can be a part of what we're doing on a day-to-day basis. We're going to then be able to experiment with certain tools, see what works compared to, its own competition as far as our tool base, and then grow with it. And also understand that, hey, as we're growing with it, there may be better tools that usurp what our current tool does. And we have to be adaptable to be able to switch and try something new. But the goal is our team is just continually looking at how we get more productive with what we do, how we get more informed about what AI's capabilities are, and how can we provide a better customer experience as a result of us doing what we're doing, and at the same time being as lean as we possibly can to be as profitable as we possibly can, especially in comparison to our local, regional, and national competition.
Okay. And of course, you cover those mindset skills or explanations in your book as far as the concept.
Absolutely.
What AI can do. Okay, excellent. All right. Well, from what I'm hearing from you, it is more about writing content and marketing. Is there anything else AI can do?
So those are just examples, right? Writing content and marketing, right? We've now reached the point, Mirna, that AI will do our actual sales calls for us.
Oh.
Okay. Wow. So you think about that from the standpoint of, I've seen tools already, and I won't list them because, like I said, we had before, right?
Wow.
But basically, there's some tools that you can have a list of contacts to call. You program the tool, and let's say you have 1,000 contacts you need to call this week. You can use a particular tool, basically submit or upload that list of contacts, phone numbers and all. And simultaneously, once you click the button submit and go, all 1,000 people will be called at the same time.
Wow.
With an AI tool that dynamically can have a conversation with you, point you in the right direction, schedule appointments for you, point you in the right direction to take on payments, maybe share with you a website to go to. answer frequently asked questions, all at the same time talking to 1,000 people. And now you're freed up as a salesperson to take on higher level duties as far as like actual fulfillment or questions that your AI tool couldn't answer at that time, maybe further programming the AI tool to get even better. But essentially the thought is, okay, if you had 1,000 people to call,
Shopify is the commerce platform revolutionizing millions of businesses worldwide. Usually, improvements don't come overnight, but once in a while, one small fix can catapult you to the next level. If your commerce platform is holding your business back, you owe it to yourself to see what Shopify can do for you. Whether you're a garage entrepreneur or IPO ready, Shopify is the only tool you need to start, run, and grow your business without the struggle. Shopify puts you in control of every sales channel. So whether you're selling satin sheets from Shopify's in-person POS system or offering organic olive oil on Shopify's all-in-one e-commerce platform, you're covered. And once you've reached your audience, Shopify has the internet's best converting checkout to help you turn them from browsers to buyers. Sign up for $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/transform, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/transform to take your business to the next level today.
how long do you think it would take you to call 1,000 people?
A week. Actually, even more than a week, like a month. Because if I used to do that. I was a salesperson and you had to dial, right? And, you if nobody answers the phone, then you move on to the next. But if you have a conversation, it's going to take a long time. So I don't even know. A long time.
And that's the thing, right? I'm making 1,000 calls right then and there. Yeah. So what would have taken you a month, now it's being taken place in real time in like 10, 20 minutes. That while you're eating lunch, you have 1,000 people being reached out to, right? This is not you ramping up a huge sales team, right? And this is also the point of, if you think about it, if you went through 1,000 sales calls, Mira, do you think that at some point you might get a little tired?
Yes.
Maybe like after like the 5th call that day.
Yes.
Maybe after like the 100th call.
Especially if you're not getting any emotional feedback. So everybody's saying they're not interested or something. Right? Because you're right. We humans have emotions. You don't feel like calling. You don't feel like going to work, but yes, you're right.
Do you think then in that case that the quality of your calls will waver?
Right. Yes.
Over those 1,000 calls in a month?
Yes. Yes.
So now it's not only just a sense of efficiency. I can get 1,000 sales calls done that day, but the quality of them are much more consistent for each one of those calls. And you can still program it to be even better the next day if you have another 1,000 calls to make. So just from that sense of a quality, consistency, and efficiency standpoint, you're going to have a lot of businesses rethink their sales force. A lot of people thinking to themselves, hey, what are the tools that are available? And if I can have it where I can have people calling and following up with prospects and customers, a whole list done in the day, what does that now free you up to do next? And maybe that frees you up to say, hey, let's address our sales funnel. Let's figure out how to automate this, that when every person comes to our website and fills out a contact information, instead of me physically having to email that person a new email, the same email, but a new person in that email, now you can have automation driven by AI that has a 30-day email sequence. That the moment the person puts in their name, their email, their phone number, You might have a sequence already played out that someone's going to get an email that same day, another email 2 days afterwards, another email, 4 days after. They might get a text message in between, might get a phone call after a week, might get a package in the mail after 2 weeks. So now you have a customer follow-up system and a fulfillment system on autopilot done by AI. So now that frees you up. Well, you don't have to physically do it for each person. So now you can service more people. Because if it's not all on you, Myrna, to do each time, think about how many people you now feel comfortable reaching out to, which now increases the number of sales opportunities, increases the opportunities for you to grow your business more than you did before AI.
Wow. I'm sitting here and I'm worried, and I'm also impressed at the same time. I'm worried for the people that are going to be obsolete in their jobs, but I'm also impressed because entrepreneurship is a decade or century for it. And I've always learned. It's something that I knew from a long time ago, that working for someone else or working for the man is not the way to do it. And now, yes, most of these jobs are going to be obsolete. Wow.
Yeah, and I think
about that. I don't utilize email, but I don't utilize my website. So you've just given me some thought to think of on that. I'm sorry, you were saying something?
No, and I think that's why the book is so focused on mindset and approach, because what I don't want entrepreneurs and business owners to go off of is, oh, now I have an excuse to be lazy. Now I have a sense where I can just not figure out this thing and figure out how to get better with it. Because one of the biggest things I would think of is, yes, there's more opportunity to build your business.
Yeah.
I would also venture to say it's probably going to get even more competitive.
Yes.
For you to launch and sustain your business.
Well, it's going to be more competitive for the people that adopt it.
Right. Because
a lot of people are old school and they still want to make the call.
Yeah.
They still want to do the things that they were doing because they're old school. Who is probably going to adopt this quicker are the millennials, because they're into this kind of technology. But the old school people are probably going to be left behind, the baby boomers or maybe whoever's before the baby boomers that are not into technology. But it's very interesting now, because you talked about video games and you talked about, you didn't say anything else, but video games and computers and all these things and phones, the smartphones. Babies are learning how to use a smartphone and video games and all. And that's all programming them for a different world or a different experience from the people that did it long end. You're into the church. A lot of pastors still come with their paper and flip pages. And our pastor, someone gave him an iPad the other day, and he was saying, I gotta learn how to scroll. I gotta learn how to use this thing, And he's been pastoring, just had his 27th anniversary. And he's still doing the paper thing. So yes, once you're old school, you're going to find it hard to adopt these new principles. And that's why, your book is such a great tool, because it showcases the possibilities, right? And, you can grab one that you are comfortable with, you know what I mean? Or even hire someone, like you said. You have, for the old school people that don't have the aptitude to do this kind of work, they can hire like one person and get a virtual assistant. Yeah. I didn't comment on that, but yes, virtual assistants is the big thing now. And you can get them for real cheap in the Philippines or India or whatever. It doesn't cost you much. Right. So that's amazing.
Yeah. And the good thing is there, even that whatever cheap money you're paying, it's good money where they're at. So it's not like you feel like you're like jipping them or anything. It's like, no, like they're looking for jobs that can be helpful, and they're wanting to compete for the jobs here, and they'll be willing to take those rates. And look, that's hard to compete. And it's like that, I think, is what's coming up as well. We're getting into a much more competitive landscape that for those people that are not adopting AI, I really fear for them, because it makes me think of a quote that the CEO of NVIDIA, a publicly traded company that is in the trenches and is profiting greatly from artificial intelligence. What he said is, it's not AI that's going to take your job. It's the person that knows AI that is going to take your job.
That's good.
And I would venture to say, I would apply that to business as well. It's not AI that's going to put you out of business. It's the business owner. It's the team that knows and uses AI that's going to put you out of business. And so the question becomes, are you going to be the one that knows and applies AI in your business? Or are you going to take the gamble and risk going out of business to the ones that know how to use AI?
Yeah, this is great information. My mind is, worrying as you're talking. But yeah, I love the email thing. I mean, boy, I will tell you that email marketing is the hot thing now. I get so much stuff in my email, and everybody is right. Sometimes I get really upset because their email sequence is like twice a day, which is annoying. But I'm almost sure I know they have someone working, but I always thought there was a human. But now you're expanding my consciousness to the fact that it's probably an AI tool that is doing these email sequencing, because I mean it's annoying.
Well, and to think about it too, Myrna, it's the same example, right? If it was done by a human and they did an email 1-to-1, and let's say they had 400 emails to do, how long would it take you to write the same email 400 times to 400 different people and send it?
A lot. But, a lot of them use lists. So it's not like they're writing the same, not list, but they use something like Constant Contact or something, and they just send it out to their email list all at the same time. But so that's what I thought that someone was doing, that someone was, a human was in charge of their email campaign, because you also have to write the email, right? You have to write the content, right? Or write the copy, I should say, and have someone do it. But yeah, I mean, now AI can write the copy.
They can write the copy.
Schedule it.
They can schedule it. They can send it. So now you're asking yourself, what do I do with my copywriter on staff now? Well, what do I do with my email campaign manager on payroll?
Right. But I know that copywriting jobs are not they have already said that a long time ago, that copywriting jobs are obsolete. Nobody's hiring copywriters. Yeah. I'm not sure what was the end result to the strike, Hollywood strike, because it's now all the writers the companies are using AI, and they don't want to pay writers. So I know the copywriting thing, but a marketing team that I can understand. Now this is beautiful.
Yeah, it actually raised a great point. I'm glad you mentioned Hollywood. One of the things that came out recently that really opened my eyes out to what AI can truly do to disrupt industries across the globe. So you know of Tyler Perry, right?
Yes, of course.
So very famous filmmaker, was in the news about a few months ago because he came across an AI tool that allowed him to essentially come as close to producing a feature-length, full cinematic drama film in a matter of minutes or hours, like full out. And what essentially happened was he got exposed to this one AI tool, and he was in the news years ago for basically buying this land in Georgia to create and build from the ground up this huge film studio. It's like, you're making Black history. Everyone's like excited. Buildings named after, pivotal African-American actors and actresses and directors. And then all of a sudden, he puts the rest of his development on pause.
He's using AI. Wow.
He said, listen, to paraphrase, I got exposed to what AI can do that I have to rethink how we do everything. Wow. Like, I got to rethink how we go about our costume designers, our makeup artists, our stage design, our backup actors and personnel. Like everything is now up for grabs, where the way I was doing it before, I can't see myself continue to do that as a business owner and as an entrepreneur. That's not smart for me. That's focused on, or at least mindful of the bottom line, right? If I'm exposed to something new that's going to make me more productive and more profitable, then I should consider it. But at the same time, he feels bad because all these jobs that he was prepared to give out, he's saying,
right,
listen, he may blame it on AI, but at the same time, he's going to have to be the one that makes that decision where it's like, look, I got no choice. I got, when the facts change, I change my decision.
In order to be competitive, because this competition is going to use it, right? Yes. So you got to be competitive. And if you feel badly about costing people jobs, wow. I now see why you're saying that, this AI thing is here to stay.
Yeah, because if that can happen,
it's going to get better and better. You said every day. I'm saying every year.
Like, listen, like, how long does it take us to go from 17 years old to 18 years old? A year. Okay, well, how long is it going to take for ChatGPT and these sorts to be from one version to a completely different version?
Yeah, I said a month or two, because now ChatGPT is on different versions, and other people are copying ChatGPT. I think somebody also had I don't remember the name, but there is a couple of people that have come on board and having their own kind of ChatGPT, and they're calling it something else. I don't remember, but that's what happens when anybody figures something is working, then you get a lot of copycats. Everybody wants in.
So imagine what it would be like in a year from now. That's what I'm saying. Like, it took a 17-year-old a year to be 18, and you can sort of see some differences. Some things are questionable about the 18-year-old now. But what I'm saying is, if you took an AI tool like a ChatGPT, timestamp it today, I'd be very interested to see how different it's going to be, not a week from now, not a month from now, but a year from now. That's how quickly we're changing things.
Yes. Wow. This is good. So I'm glad you decided to study this and write a book on it. This is on-time information. This is great. Now I want to get to something that you talk about. You talk about the core four of a dream business growth. So how can AI help us with the core four? Did we cover that already in our talk?
So we haven't covered that already. The core four of dream business growth, when I work with small business owners and entrepreneurs to grow their businesses, is essentially, what are the core four for you to grow your dream business? So the first one is grow sales. Second is grow profits. Third, grow via mergers and acquisitions. And fourth is grow exit value. So those are the four that I focus on to help business owners grow the business of their dreams. And what I would say as far as where AI plays a role in that is, for each one of those core four, you figure out what are you currently doing to grow each one of those components of your business, and figure out what things that you absolutely have to do physically yourself that no one else can do. And then out of the ones that you don't have to physically do yourself, as opposed to outsourcing it to another human being, ask yourself the question, is this something that AI can essentially help do for me? And if you take that sort of approach in each one of those core four, I believe over a short amount of time, in a year, I would say, and then continuing beyond that year, many business owners and entrepreneurs can experience significant growth in each one of those four areas.
Yeah, that's a good strategy. That's a really good strategy, right? Because a lot of entrepreneurs just concentrate on the first one, grow sales. They're not into they don't know better. to focus on the other three. So the fact that that you were teaching them that there's 4 core areas, and then you're also making them understand what are they doing to work on those 4 areas. And then I like what you said about, find out what you can do, like the higher function things, and then give the lower function things to AI, or maybe even, a virtual assistant or something. But yes, so that's good. That's good. All right. What do you think? What do you think is the biggest fear for entrepreneurs regarding artificial intelligence?
One biggest fear is they're going to get left behind, which I would add a corollary. If you don't adopt and master AI, you will get left behind. But I think the other biggest fear is that artificial intelligence is a fad. And why do I get involved with all this stuff and it's worthless, or it doesn't pan out what I was hoping it would do, and I just spent all this time, all this money, all this investment, and it didn't pan out? In which the corollary on that one is not a fad, because the same type of people that were thinking social media was a fad, we're still on social media. The same type of people that thought that the telephone was a fad, the smartphone, the automobile, the railroad, electricity, airplane. We can go down the list, of all these different technologies that, yes, they may have adapted. Yes, they may have evolved. Yes, they may have gotten better. But just like AI doing those same things, they're still here. And I believe that AI is going to be something very similar, that it's going to be here. It's going to get better. The main question still becomes, what are we going to do about it, though?
Yeah, I'm going to throw in a bonus question here, because you're a man of God and a man of faith. Do you think that at some point in time, we're going to have a spiritual come to Jesus moment and recognize that we're getting the robots are taking over the world? That's what these are. Robots. It's like, so, obviously there's no science in this. It's just your opinion.
Sure. So I think the big issue that comes to my mind is I think about AI similar to how I look at a butter knife. So if you go in your kitchen, you open your drawer and you pull out a butter knife, depending on the person holding that butter knife is going to predicate how useful that butter knife is going to be. For me, if I have a butter knife, it might be in the morning, hungry, I want to get some toast. I use that butter knife to put butter and strawberry jelly on it so I can enjoy it. It's one way to use it. For another person, they may use that butter knife as a weapon that can inflict serious harm, let alone kill somebody. So ultimately, the butter knife is still the same tool, but used by a different person for a different way. And so how I look at AI is very similar. AI could be used for good or for evil purposes. And I think that, to your question, if some people think of AI as a way that they can become more like God, or to empower themselves with AI's robotic-like, machine-like, constantly evolving functions that you come as close to being God as possible. Well, listen, there's a story in the book of Genesis of people that are trying to be like God before. It didn't turn out well for them. And so I would imagine if we try to do that 2,000 plus years later, I don't think it's going to turn out well for those people that think they can become like God with the use of AI. So I would say choose wisely on how you use AI.
Yes, that's true. Well, people are going to abuse it. That's the world that we live in right now.
Unfortunately, yeah.
Yes, people are going to abuse it, and they're going to, want to. We're also in a capitalist society, and People are going to grab it to make more money, and that's what's going to happen. So yes, from my point of view, it doesn't look good. All right. All right. So let's talk about your book, right? Your book is, I think that this will be a very good read from our conversation today. And, it's called, what's the name of it again?
So The Unfair Advantage.
I'm trying to see where I wrote it. Okay.
How small business owners and entrepreneurs can use artificial intelligence to grow sales, outsmart the competition, and build the dream businesses of their dreams without breaking the bank.
Without breaking the bank. All right. So why did you write it? And what do you want the readers to walk away with after reading?
Well, I wrote it for small business owners like us, right? I think that with a new technology like AI, we often fear what we don't truly understand. But that shouldn't excuse us from not doing anything, from putting our heads in the sand like an ostrich and just ignoring everything and thinking that artificial intelligence is just a fad. Yeah, as we talked about before, Myrna, like part of my motivation is to help out fellow small business owners like myself and like you. And that's what motivates me. And I wrote this book to say, hey, I know it could be overwhelming to see all the news on AI, to see all these different tools that keep on evolving with version 2.0, 3.0, 4.0, and it's not even halfway through the year.
Right.
However, this is our new reality, and I care about you enough to share with you something that can help you have the right mindset and the right approach to grow with what's happening before our eyes here with artificial intelligence. And so if you do care about growing your business, if you care about having your business become more realized as far as what you dreamed of originally before life happened, that can allow you to live the type of lifestyle you want to live with yourself, your family, and the ones you care about, and you want to avoid being creatively disrupted in terms of disrupted to the point that you're out of business and now you're looking for a 9-to-5 job, helping somebody else's dream, then I would strongly recommend you consider reading the book, The Unfair Advantage, and adopt the right mindset, the right growth mindset with regards to how do we make sense of artificial intelligence, how do we adopt it in what we're currently doing, and how do we master it to a point where we can grow with it to help us become more productive and more profitable, to keep us in business and to help us succeed even better.
Yeah. Listen, I'm going to pick up a copy of your book because, like you say, I'm a small business person and I use ChatGPT and that's it. So I will look for some other tools and work with them because I'm almost sure that the bigger podcasting people that have all these teams are working on some more tools other than the ones that I know of. So yeah, I'm pretty sure they're doing great. So it's now up to me to learn that. Else you're right. I'm one of the ones that's going to be left behind. Right. So yeah. So thank you so much, Phillip, for being on the show and expanding our minds and our consciousnness on this new AI thing. Because, I think it's only like 2 years old or something. At least that's when I started hearing of it. But it's the entire conversation now. Everybody's talking about it. Everybody talks about investing with it. Businesses are using it. And as you kept talking, I understand where that I have interacted with it, because people call me all the time with AI. And listen, I understand how businesses are using it. So it's fantastic. Thank you for this conversation. Thank you for being on the show. And you guys, hey, if you're an entrepreneur and if you're not an entrepreneur and you're still working for the man, hey, pay attention to this conversation. Pay attention to maybe where you fit in to the regular corporate world and businesses right now. Because a lot of things that you do, I think I heard way back that if you are not a critical thinker, right, if you're not in the critical thinking business, then whatever you do can be, relegate to someone else. Even the voice. As you were talking, Philip, I remember that you can program ChatGPT to make a video that looks like you, and it's not even you. So there's so many things that people can do. I'm sorry, you're saying?
No, that was exactly the question I wanted to ask you over the course of the interview is, Myrna, how do you know that I am actually a real human talking to you?
Wow.
That's where we're at this point.
Yes. Oh my gosh, that's chilling.
So yeah, there's plenty of tools of AI beyond ChatGPT, and I've definitely seen a number of tools that can replicate my voice, replicate my appearance, and even do it to the point that I could actually do this podcast interview and it not be me.
Yeah.
It'll be my voice. It'll be my appearance. I'm responding dynamically to your questions, having the right facial expressions. And it may not be me. I may actually be on the beach somewhere. The real me may actually be on the beach somewhere, and AI is actually doing this interview.
Great. Wow, that is scary. I'm getting goosebumps. But you know where I first heard that? You remember when Jamie Foxx had his incident, and he came on Instagram to say he's okay? People were saying that it was AI, and he said, "Well, I'm pitching my face. This is not AI." Yes, I guess AI can pitch your face, but
not for now.
Wow, what was that? For now?
Not for now. That just sounds like you just give it a command, and it just responds to you, right?
Oh my gosh! Wow. Yes. Well, that's interesting. I love their conversation, Phillip. I love having my mind blown, right? And that's basically what you've done. I'm just blowing my mind. And I hope that you guys have your mind blown as well. So yes, definitely pick up a copy of Phillip's book. I will have a transcript of my conversation with Phillip on the show page, which is myhelps.us. I'll link out to this book, and so that you guys can pick up a copy of it. Listen, knowledge is only power if you use it. And like Phillip says, don't bury your head in the sand and think this is going to pass. Learn how you can grow your business using it. If you don't have a business, learn what you should learn so that you can be prepared. Let's say if they're going to phase out your job or something. Listen, this is really good information. All right, Phillip, what's your social handle? You've got to be on social media.
Oh yeah, so just you can go on social media, whether it's Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, YouTube, or even TikTok, and just look up my name, Phillip Blackett, PhilipBlackett.
Okay, all right. I will also link out to Phillip's social media, Facebook and Instagram. And you guys can follow him and learn this thing, because yes, we all need to learn. And I will definitely, improve on my knowledge of AI. I will definitely pick up a copy of your book. So thank you, Phillip, for being on the show. Thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of Transform Your Mind, Transform Your Life. Today we're talking about transforming with technology, so that your business can grow, so that you can grow if you don't have a business, and be prepared. It's just like the same thing when, in the 80s I was talking about when I worked at the bank. I left the bank and went to learn computers, because that is when computers were coming on. Everybody says you have to learn computers. If you don't know computers, then you're going to be left on the wayside. Now it's the same thing. If you're a business owner, you got to learn the AI, the tools, and, and if you're a copywriter, start looking for something else to do. Get it? All right. So thank you, Phillip, for being on the show. Thank you guys for tuning in. If you're watching on YouTube, would love for you to hit the subscribe button And also join the conversation. Leave a comment. If you're watching on iTunes, would love for you to subscribe and also leave a review. I try to bring you quality guests like Phillip every week so that you can transform your mind and transform your life. As we wrap up, Phillip, any last words?
I think you covered it, Myriad. I think the big thing is that we've talked a lot about artificial intelligence here and a lot of lessons learned here. And more importantly, ask yourself, what's the one takeaway that you can take from this and take action on it?
Yes. I got my takeaway and I'm going to take action on it. Yes. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. We're fresh out of time. Until next time, namaste.